was at Tony's show or a show in Phoenix, and some guy had about 8 or 10 VAMs, and he was talking about them, and it piqued my interest, and I had a few hundred silver dollars at home, and I went through mine, and I found about 50 or 60 VAMs. Got all excited, I sent them all in to be graded, which I found out is the wrong thing to do. But anyway, what is a VAM? The VAM is an acronym for the last names of two numismatic researchers, Leroy Van Allen and the late George Malletz. So it's V-A-L-V-A-M. Van Allen and Malletz. That's how the word came up. They started doing research in the 60s. And they were both doing it, and they were doing it separately, and they didn't know each other. And they each published a book in 64 or 66, and then in the late 60s, they both got together and they published the Comprehensive Catalog of Encyclopedia of Morgan and Peace Dollars. That's considered the Bible of VAMs. And that's this book here. It was published in 1971. I read some articles on Leroy Van Allen before. They used to be able to go to the bank, to the Federal Reserve, and get $1,000 bags, $100 bags of silver dollars. And he went through approximately 35 or 40,000 silver dollars. And then when they approached some publishers, they wanted more information. So they both had gone to the mint, and they compiled this book here that has all the dates, all the die pairings, all the. This is takes a lot of time to do this kind of research, and that's how the VAMs are rated, is by die pairings. Maybe the obverse and the reverse, one will wear out or crack, or a piece will fall off, or they'll flash. And that's how it becomes a VAM. I think I've read some books that say all silver dollars are VAMs. They all have something wrong with them. But to get rated, it has to be the right die pairings. Some of them have the right stuff on the obverse, but the wrong stuff on the reverse. So they're not really that particular VAM. It drives you crazy trying to do the research on these things. You've got to find every little nuance on the coin, otherwise it isn't the right one. When I send mine in, I send them in, I put the VAM number, and a few of them come back as wrong. And I thought for sure I had the right VAM. Also, VAMs are created by die clashing. When there's no planchet under it, the two dies clash, and maybe part of one will stamp on the other one. And that's how some of them are created also. Or a chunk falls off, or they're reworked by the mint workers, die polishing, and they'll have lines in them. I mean, you can go online on VAM World if you have a silver dollar and you want to check it for a VAM, and you'll pull up a date, say 1878, and there's a couple of hundred VAMs for that one date. I think it's 220, you said? 220 in 1878 alone. So, and they have to be the right die pairings to make that van. Leroy Van Allen, I read something here last year that he was moving into an assisted living complex, and you can send in a silver dollar and a $5 bill if you think that you found a van that's not listed. There's 4,600 vans listed in catalog. So when I first started collecting them, I got so excited. I found all these vans, I sent them all in, and then I get a book that's put out by a van club, and there might be, say, 25 vans in that particular year, but there's only 10 of them that are desirable. There's no interest in the other ones. So I've got probably about 150 in my safe that there's no interest. They're vans. I got the vans, you know. But anyway, you have to be careful. So I kind of, after I got more educated in collecting them, I'm sticking to the van 100s, the top 30, the top 100, the hot 50, the top 50, the hit list 40, and the super CD. That's the ones that are the more desirable. There are some other ones that aren't even listed in any of these categories that are expensive if you find them, but they're very rare. You can find them for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, but there's probably only 2 or 3 of them. Because maybe that the die pairing only lasted for 100 coins or something, and it broke or fell off or whatever. So, they published their book in 1971. Their first book was in '64. Their book in '71 kind of stalled with the stuff I've been reading, and then someone else wrote a book in '96 and put out the top 100 book, and that was made by Michael Fry and Jeff Oxman. And then the top Morgendauer varieties, the Hot 50 was put out in 2000. The top 50 was put out in 2002. There are a lot of interesting vans that I accidentally came upon, and I've been doing some trading. I've been trying to trim down my collection, so I've been trading some and buying some. There a lot of people don't even know about the vans. I was at a show not too long ago, and I asked the guy, he had a bunch of silver dollars. I said, "Do you check them for vans?" He said, "For what?" So there's a lot of people who don't even check them, and there's a lot of dealers that don't even check their slab coins, because I found some in there that weren't. If you send in a silver dollar to be graded, then they will not grade it a van unless you pay extra to have it graded, even though it is a van. PCGS and NGC will only grade the top 100, hot 50. And the hit 40. Annex will grade them all, even the ones that aren't worth anything. So after I did an inventory, I had my boy had an operation, so he recuperated at my house, and he helped me do an inventory on everything I had and put it on my phone so I won't buy extra. I got a whole rack of them that I bought 2 and 3 of the same kind. Smart, you know. Make a list, Jerry, and then you won't do that. So now I got a list, and there's some of them that you can, if you find out you have a van, even though it's slab, you can send it in and have it regraded as a van. But NGC, PCGS only do certain ones. And Annex will do them all. But there are, even though people collect VAMs, I was on the internet the other day and there's a guy that belongs to that VAM club. He's got half of the 4,600. He's trying to collect all of the VAMs. I don't know if you'll live long enough to do that. But there's some of them that are probably you won't ever be able to find because they were, you know, picked out where there may only be 100 of them or so. So I've got some books up here if you want to take a look at them. I found out also after I did my inventory, I went to a grade sheet. And then I go to the VAM price book. The gray sheet is more than the VAM in the VAM book, but there's no interest in them. And they're graded by I and R. The I is the interest, and the R is the rarity. And the average one is a 3 or a 4. And then I've got some that are 5 or 6. I think I've got one that's a 7 rarity, but they're hard to come by. But got any questions? That's about all I got. I'm just a new collector. Yeah.
Are VAMs in Morgan only or Peace too?
No, peace dollars also.
Thank you.
The peace dollars are the hit list 40. Now the top 50 is in the peace dollars. There aren't as many, obviously, because there aren't that many peace dollars. But so I have them here from the year all the way up, the top 100s. I've got the hot 50. I got 2 top 30, hit list 40, super CD, and then the peace dollars. So if you want to come up and look at any of these, or if you have any other questions.
What's the merch story about?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe you do which one.
No. And then I found one at a coin shop that's 80% rotated. It's, and it was slabbed that way.
So, Jerry, you're telling me that there is nobody that's collected all of the 4,600 VAM varieties. There's only one guy that's got 2,300.
Yeah, you got half of them that was on the internet.
Wow, all right. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's hard enough. I've got about half of the top 100. But I may not ever get all of them. I may not be able to afford them, you know.
Sure.
But it's kind of fun. After I collected all those years, I drug all my coins around. And after I got my sets all done, after I retired, the air was out of the balloon. Like, you know, now what do I do, you know? So then I got interested in this. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's kind of fun. And I love going through silver dollars and trying to find things. I've got 2 at home now. I got to send in that I found that I don't have. So they're out there still. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't even know about VAMs. They look at me like a deer in the headlight, you know. So what are you talking about? So, it's interesting. Any other?
Is it just basically their varieties, but they have, they're paying attention to the die pairing?
Right.
But
You haven't made another VAM in that year.
where you have cuds, sometimes you'll have cuds, and you'll have cracks, and you'll have
Right.
where it's over polished or anything
Right.
out of the ordinary, but they've tracked it through the die pairing.
Right. And they're in this book here. Also, yeah.
Now, with if you have a VAM on the output and not on the reverse,
Yeah, there are VAMs that way, it just depends on the die pairing. But each die pairing has its own characteristic. There might be a line here, or a little nick here, or the feathers aren't completely formed. It's the doubling and not a die. The doubling, you know, I mean, it's not a hub doubling.
Well, obviously, if it's available on both sides, it's worth more money.
Not necessarily. It depends on the rarity of it. And there were so many coins that were melted down, so you don't know.
Do you have any of them that are like, the reverse is brand spanking new almost, and the obverse is quite worn and flattened and black and
No, there are some that I don't know if I have them, but I sold one at a show that I thought was a real good coin, but the guy pointed out that the obverse was struck really well and the reverse was a real flat. It wasn't a real sharp strike. So it depends, the die wearing out. Exactly. I don't know if they keep it for 2 or 3 years. I think they go for a couple 100,000 strikes or something. Huh? Right.
So, rust on them, just pull it off the shelf and.
Yeah, there are rust marks on some of them, and that creates a layout. There's little the dots. I'll open the case and you can look at them. But they're, I mean, quite interesting.
On your right, sir.
It's like, as a Roman collector, all Roman collector bands.
Are they?
And, yeah, there's no two of them exactly alike, so it's even finer than that. But you can tell dies easily. Because they're all individually made and cut and all the rest of it. No two on which is sort of the same. In fact, David Zero went through and did 1 or 2 Roman coins that he did with hearing, and then of course the obverse style goes up more rapidly than the reverse. And so you get all these different pairings. It's just like, and of course each individual Roman coin doesn't look quite like any of those, even the size are the same.
Right.
So you're kind of got the same. It's like more so.
There's a lot of varieties in other coins, and now when I buy a collection or something, I'm looking at all of them. I'm looking at all the coins for varieties. So I'm hooked on variety, I guess. And I do have quite a few other ones. I'm gonna put those together someday.
Everything you say makes me think of those old Westhalf dollars. There might be 35 or 40 basic designs, and there's about 500 variations on it, overdates and whatnot, die cracks. I think it was, the guy's name was Overton. And sometimes you find them slabbed with the Overton number, and sometimes you don't. So it sounds like kind of a parallel situation.
Yeah, they're probably the cherry picker guide and stuff.
Oh,
But, if somebody took the time to do this much research, I mean, this guy tells you how many dies were for each year and what die pairings and how long the dies were kept. I mean, this guy had gone to the mint. And he got all the mint records and stuff. I mean, he did some extensive research. I think some other coin would be the same as this if somebody would do this much work and this much interest. I guess the silver dollar is the most collectible numismatic coin in the world, I guess, because that's what they say. It's the most collectible. Every time you go to a show, every dealer's got a showcase full of silver dollars. So everybody has.
Actually, it would be a lot easier with some of the Victorian silver coins, because they actually number for the dollars. The number actually appears on the dollars as a round number.
Wow. Okay, come up and see it if you want. We'll take a break.
So how many 1893S VAMs are there?
18. Here, hold that one up, you do the thing. I want that to fall on anyone. There you go. How many 18 what?
1893S. So if somebody was going to get all the VAMs, how many 1893S's do you need?
I'll have to check the book.
This is the older one, this is the newer one.
Right.